What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR Game Rankings. Of course, this is the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel, and you are tuned in live and direct to the daily vlog live. It is episode 161, if you can believe that, and this is Saturday, July 28th, and I guess I should actually have my intro playing, right? Of course. And now, of course, I will have to resize my intro. What is up, everybody? It is Saturday. And you know what? The weather has cooled down dramatically here in Sacramento. Remember that one day I was saying it was going to be 110 degrees? It actually never was 110 degrees. You know, that is the weather people. You know, the weather people will tell you it's going to be this, it's going to be that, and they end up being quite a bit off, which was cool with me because I was perfectly fine with it not being 110 degrees. But yeah, welcome to Daily Vlog Live, episode 161, Saturday, July 28th. And gotta be honest with you folks and let you know that I do not have a lot of stories planned today. I was busy with other stuff, just got here, just started this up. So we're gonna have to kind of work together in terms of like news stories and stuff. I did have a couple of minor things I did want to get to. Hold on one second here. Just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, so we are in chat, it looks like. I have not popped out chat. I think that was the problem. Pop it out. Let's pop out that chat. And let's see if, here we go. Okay. So yeah, I'll go ahead and I will just be adjusting the chat window as we move along. Fluke is in the house. And Roy is in the house. Hope you guys can hear me, video, audio, all of that sort of thing. Hopefully all of that is good. If there is a problem, somebody go ahead and let me know. Lethal Weasel is also in the house. It is, Roy Schwartz is saying you there. Are you guys not seeing me? Hello? Do you guys hear me? Let me know. T-Dub is here. Fluke Rogi is saying, yep, all fine. Okay. Okay, cool. So we're all good here, and I will now adjust chat to get it so that it just shows us the most recent ones, and then hopefully that'll work there. Okay, so basically I'm going to go to the first story that I have today, one of the only stories I saw, and this was a tweet by Jeff Kanata, I believe I saw this, that Wilson's Heart is the daily deal for Oculus, and you can grab Wilson's Heart for $10, $9.99 for Wilson's Heart on the Oculus Rift. This, of course, is Twisted Pixel, who later this year they are coming out with Defector. Well, at least we think later this year. That's what we heard the last time. Chat was off. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so Defector supposedly coming out later this year. As far as we know, this of course is Wilson's Heart, $10 daily deal. Did not get a chance to check Oculus, so I'm not sure when this expires.
Starring Peter Weller as Robert Wilson, Rosario Dawson as Elsa Wolcott, Alfred Molina as Bela Blasco, and introducing you.
I didn't know that they had like Rosario Dawson and all that in that. I knew the one guy, I knew the RoboCop guy was the voice of the main character. I did know about that, but I didn't know they had other notable actors as well. So anyway, yeah, Wilson's Heart. I still have not finished Wilson's Heart. I got stuck I'm probably like 75% of the way through the game, but I was stuck on a particular puzzle. And I don't know about you guys, but I'll get into these games. And part of this is because I have so many games to play anyways, where if I only had like one or two games, I'd probably just beat my head against it until I finally figured it out. But one of the issues I get into is I'll get into a certain game where I'm stuck at a certain point in the game, And there's no easy solution. I could go to YouTube, I could look up like a walkthrough, but I normally avoid doing that. I normally try to power my way through it. And then sometimes I'll think about, oh, I want to go play Wilson's Heart, but I'll think, but I'm stuck. I'm stuck at that one part. It's probably going to take me like 2 hours to figure out what the hell is going on. Do I do that, or do I hop into Seeking Dawn? Or do I hop into Pavlov VR? And I got to say a thank you to Mame Fan. I don't know if he'll end up in our chat today, but Mame Fan, my good boy Justin, he actually gifted me Pavlov VR. So I will be checking out Pavlov VR. I've only played it one time so far, and I was having problems with my weapon. I did get a knife, and I jacked like a number of people up with a knife. And it was definitely Murder Simulator. I was hiding around corners, waiting for people to come and just jacking the hell out of them. Oh, Paul Rubens is also in Wilson's Heart. Of course, Pee Wee Herman. Let's see. Fluke was saying something about Wilson's Heart. He says, same here. Never finished Wilson's Heart, but enjoyed what I played. Another one on my pile of shame that I need to go back to. Yeah. In fact, I think I have to re-download Wilson's Heart, because I think I ended up deleting it one time when I was really hurting for hard drive space, which is dumb because I have external hard drives that I could have hooked up to this computer and just like didn't do it. And I believe I deleted Wilson's Heart because I think it's a lot of gigs. So I'd have to re-download that to get back into it. But at some point, I definitely am going to get back into Wilson's Heart. And $10, solid deal. We have Agnos, hello, what is up? Always cool to see relatively new names in chat. Sunny in VR, I have seen him or her in chat at some point. Airman 929565. Not sure if I've seen him in chat before, but yeah, it's always good when we see some new people popping into chat. That is always a good thing. But yeah, Wilson's Heart has the deal. Let's see, what other stuff did I want to get to while we're early in the show? Let me see here. Another thing I wanted to get into real quick. Well, actually, hold off on that. What I will do is I will throw some random video on. And then what we can do is I'll hop over to Reddit, and we'll take a look at some of the news stories, and I can always bounce back to something else. So we'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce over to the Vive subreddit. Typically, I start off in the Vive subreddit. And the number one story out there on the Vive subreddit is some game called Blade and Sorcery. And I also notice if you hop over to the Oculus Rift subreddit, this is really high. I don't know if it's the number one story either, but basically what this is this is some Redditor that is saying that this game, Blade and Sorcery, has literally the best VR melee combat that we've seen so far. And I'd say up until this point, Gorn is the champion when it comes to like feeling like when your swords hit something, there's like something there and kind of having that melee feel. I would say Gorn is probably number one. This guy is saying Blade and Sorcery is going to be the next big thing. Now, I did look at this, and basically this guy is kind of pimping his YouTube channel and stuff, and he's just talking about this dev that is like very shy. He's not going to talk about this, but this guy did an incredible job on this game, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't really want to give this, I could go to this dude's YouTube channel. He's probably got a video of it. Maybe not. But anyway, it's kind of a dude promoting his YouTube channel, so I kind of don't get into that too much. But Blade and Sorcery, supposedly this incredible thing. There isn't even a Steam page for it yet, so we really can't say too much about that. But that is number one up there. Now, of course, another thing, and we did want to talk about this today. This was like late breaking news on yesterday's show, and that is the official Vive wireless adapter. In fact, there is an official Vive wireless adapter setup guide that is on vive.com, but that page was pulled, but somebody, was able to get that page before it was pulled, and I actually do have that page here. I could copy these screenshots and put them into the show, but it would take a while to do that. It'd be kind of a pain in the ass to do that. But basically, yeah, there's just a little guide. You do have to connect a PCIe WiGig card on your computer motherboard. So you are going to have to install a PCIe card on your computer. That's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it goes through the entire setup. You can probably get into the Vive subreddit. You can see this page, and it does work with the regular Vive, deluxe audio strap with a regular Vive, and of course the Vive Pro. Now, the way I understand it, this is $300, right? Coming in September for this Vive wireless adapter. So that is definitely big news there. And let's see, what else do we have on the Vive subreddit that people are talking about here? Steam VR, there's a lot of people talking about the Steam VR update and having problems with the Steam VR, a recent Steam VR update. I haven't noticed anything. I haven't played very much, though. I did play a little bit of Pavlov, which was courtesy of MameFan, which thanks very much for that. Did play a little bit of that. I also played a little bit of something that is embargoed, something I can't talk about, but I was very, very impressed. There is a game that is coming in the not too distant future that is very impressive, and not a lot of people are talking about it. So I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. I can't really say any more than that, but I will be able to say more soon. I did play a little bit of that, had no trouble whatsoever. I think both of the things that I played, though, they both had like Oculus options. So maybe that kind of bypassed possible Steam VR jank, because I know there are people out there complaining about a lot of problems with Steam VR. Let me go ahead and change my trailer here that I'm just going to be throwing some random trailers on the screen until I have like a news story where I have a particular trailer to go with it. I got to resize this trailer, but I will be checking chat here in just a second. We'll see what people are saying. This is the old Oculus Go. This is when Engadget was first showing off the Oculus Go, which I still need to get my hands on an Oculus Go, hoping to get my hands on one in the not too distant future. Actually, I really do want to get my hands on a Go. Okay, so let me go ahead and bounce back over to chat. We'll see what's going on. So we have the Rabid Cabbage is checking in, another new person in chat. Hi, been watching the VODs for a while. This is the first time I caught the live stream. Yeah, this time of day, not a bad time. I know it's very late there in England. It's 10:13 p.m., I believe, in England. So a little bit late for our English audience, but for like USA, back east, West Coast, kind of a good time. It is Saturday, so a lot of people obviously are off work and they can check that out. Oh, Chris Gould is saying the Baron is a pretty solid guy. Yeah, there's so many YouTubers, and I know technically I'm a YouTuber, right? But you won't see me on the subreddits like trying to hype up my videos. I just feel, well, I don't have anything to hype up, so you won't see me doing it for that reason either. But it's like, I don't know, I see a lot of these threads and a lot of them kind of irritate the shit out of me. No, I mean, not Paradise Decay. Paradise Decay is a legitimate YouTuber, and he's just like the hardest working guy in the biz. So I'm cool with Paradise Decay's when he's, hyping his videos up. But so many other people, it's like they try to trick you into their YouTube video, which kind of bothers me a little bit. Chris Gould is saying, this time is fine for me in the UK. Perfect time to sit with a glass of bourbon. Well, especially this is Saturday evening in the UK. So, yeah, this is a great time to grab a glass of bourbon. We have Elenis Romayos checking in. So yeah, we got some new folks in chat. That is always a good thing to see. And do you still have to repurchase app for the Oculus Go even if you have the Rift? You know, I think most of the games you have to buy for both of them. They don't really have like what Sony has, you know, where you kind of buy it and you get it on the Vita, you get it on the PS4, that type of stuff. A lot of people are hoping, though, that the cross-buy, a lot of people are hoping that cross-buy will come. I believe there is cross-buy on a small handful of Go/Rift games. Let me try doing something with my chat here. Hold on one sec. I'm going to try experimenting with the width of my chat window. And then maybe that will let it, yeah, there we go. That might squeeze things in a little bit better for chat. Okay, so let's see. I can throw a different trailer on here while we're waiting to get into some news. Keep having to resize these trailers, though. That's not necessarily fun. I'll throw this to the top trailer on. Yeah, I don't have a lot of trailers floating around in these windows. But basically, wanted to get back to the news over here. You know what news I really do want to cover? Now, this is on the Oculus Rift subreddit, and I actually didn't cover this yesterday when it was really blowing up. But those of you that saw the Oculus Rift subreddit yesterday, you guys remember the thread that it was at the top of the subreddit for pretty much all day long. And it was basically this guy that was saying, I'm trying to find the thread now. Of course, when I want to find the thread now, I can't find it. But it was this guy that was basically saying, are you guys crazy? Marvel Powers United VR is absolute garbage. You guys remember that thread that was on the top of the subreddit? And like tons of people were coming in. I thought it was interesting because you know there is a little bit of fanboyism that happens among people on the Oculus subreddit. And here was a guy that was basically just attacking the big Oculus game that just came out, which is Marvel Powers United VR. And he just came in and was talking major smack. And it was kind of interesting to see the reaction that happened with that. Didn't know if anybody... now I can't find this thread. Like, how is that possible? It was like the number one thread of the day a minute ago. Let me see. Marvel Powers United VR. I mean, this guy was like, he's like, why do people actually like this game is pretty much what he was saying. Now I can't find the thread. But then there was, of course, a response to that. The response to that was Haney555, which I know anybody that has visited the Oculus Rift subreddit, you're probably well aware of this guy, Haney555. Big time Oculus Rift supporter, pretty much defends the Oculus Rift at every juncture. The Oculus Rift can do no wrong. I wonder, you know, it would be interesting to get this guy, Haney555, and like interview him and like, would he ever say anything bad about the Rift? Like, what does he hate about the Oculus Rift? Because this guy really is kind of on the Oculus, which is cool. It's cool to be a fan of something. I understand that. But he has this thread here. Apparently, the people who actually bought Marvel Powers United VR, mostly Marvel fans, love it. And it has 121 comments. And inside this thread, he's showing some reviews where people gave it 5 stars. Most fun since Robo Recall. This game is awesome. Love it. Blew my mind. A+, must buy now. And then he also lists... somebody else came in. The highest voted comment is in here is, here's a list of professional review sites that I found thus far, many of which did not rate this game very well. That has 92 points that people have upvoted. You know, Road to VR, 5 out of 10. VR Focus, 3 out of 5 or 6 out of 10. Upload VR, 6.5 out of 10. Shack News, 7 out of 10. Rialo Virtual Spain, 7 out of 10. Destructoid, 8 out of 10. So Destructoid gave it a pretty good review. There was also some other place that gave it a pretty good review. But yeah, it was just kind of interesting to see that reaction yesterday. A lot of people are either on one side of the fence or the other when it really comes to Marvel Powers United. A lot of people either like really kind of hate it, really don't like it. The $40 price is kind of harsh. You know, the $40 price is kind of harsh. I haven't played it too much more since I played it that first time, so I can't really comment more on it. Let's see what people are saying in chat right about now. Let's see here. Marvel Powers United has certainly split the opinion of the subreddit. It seems to be a very Marmite game. Ooh, throwing them big words at us, Fluke. Hellblade VR looks amazing. Yeah, the other thing is Hellblade VR. A lot of people are really raving about Hellblade VR, and we only have a handful of days, folks. Tuesday, we can be playing Hellblade VR. I really feel like it's kind of Christmas in July. I mean, sure, Marvel Powers VR is not necessarily like blowing everybody away, but there are some good aspects of it. And I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of good stuff that's coming out right now. Of course, I am playing a handful of things that are embargoed that I can't talk about, that are going to be coming possibly very, very early. I don't believe we have Marmite on our side of the pond, whatever Marmite is. US Park Talk is currently downloading Marvel Powers United VR right now. So you'll probably be done downloading it by the time this show is over. It is an absolutely huge game. That Marvel game looks like a really awesome training room for a much bigger, better game, is what Lethal Weasel VR has to say about it. You know what? There are some awesome set pieces in Marvel Powers United VR, and because I'm talking about it, I should probably throw on the Marvel Powers United trailer while I happen to talk about it. Does make a little bit of sense here, so let me find that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if I'm going to talk about some of the good sides of Marvel Powers United VR, those 56 gigs or 55 gigs, whatever it was, they are not going to waste. There is a reason there are so many gigs of that, because of all the textures and the set pieces. I was playing as the Hulk, and they put you on these different backdrops, these different settings that I think are really cool. Like, I like the stages. I even like a lot of the action that's happening. I think the real problem with this game is that there really is no story, and that the gameplay just kind of gets monotonous. And so that's where the complaints are, you know. But there are good aspects. If this game was $20, I would, just based on the short amount that I've played so far, I would recommend it to pretty much everybody, just purely on the spectacle of the fact that this is a big time game. Very colorful graphics, very clean graphics. Spider-Man, I talked about Spider-Man yesterday. Did anybody who's had this game, has anybody had a chance to play as Spider-Man and to look at your Spider-Man arms? It is crystal clear. Gary and Steve, these guys got 1080 Ti's. These guys can kind of super sample and stuff. I'm curious, somebody out there that is can you super sample the shit out of this game and look at your Spider-Man arms in Technicolor, because it is colorful as hell. It looks very good. Very impressed personally with some of the visuals of Powers United VR. I think the audio is pretty good. Now, what really bothers me about it is constant hitching, constant stuttering, especially anytime I'm in the menus or trying to get something started. This game does not like my computer very much. If I had a 1080 Ti, if I had a 8800K or whatever, you know, whichever CPU is like the ideal one to have, if I had the really nice motherboard, the latest memory, all of that, can I play Marvel Powers United VR stutter free with no issues, no hiccups? curious about that because it probably would feel a lot better. Let's bounce back over to chat real quick. So Fluke Rogi says Marmite is basically a food spread. Use it in sandwiches. People either love it or hate it. Oh, okay. So it's probably like Miracle Whip. Over here we have something called Miracle Whip, and people either love that or they hate it. I personally hate it. Just no. Give me some regular Best Foods mayonnaise. I'm not about the Miracle Whip. So I guess that would probably be the closest thing. US Park Talk, haven't played it yet, but what's wrong with giving new Oculus buyers a cool Marvel experience? Will it blow people away like Robo Recall blew me away? Well, it's using the Robo Recall engine, but there are some similarities because you could grab the enemies very much like you can grab the robots in Robo Recall. But I don't know that it's not going to blow away VR veterans other than maybe graphically, like I'm saying, incredibly colorful, good audio, and the gameplay before it gets monotonous is actually not too bad, especially if you're playing as the Hulk. I think the Hulk is probably one of the best characters to play as right now. Chris Gould, if I get Marvel, I am going to play it in my grandson's Spider-Man pajamas. Yeah, we definitely do not want to see this. Do not do a mixed reality video for that. Yeah, mixed reality videos, boy, they could be goofy, but I mean, they're super cool, but they could be goofy as well, of course, right? Okay, so let's see here. There was a trailer I can throw on here. Beat Saber PlayStation VR gameplay. So this is actual gameplay on PlayStation VR. This is a show called PlayStation Underground, where they have some actual gameplay of Beat Saber. We still don't have a date for Beat Saber on PSVR, which is kind of crazy to me, because you would think that Sony would send like a handful of their programmers over to help these guys polish this thing up, make sure that it's running butter smooth, even on a vanilla PS4, and then run really well as well on a PS4 Pro. This is a huge game. This is a huge game for Sony's platform. They have consistently been incredibly fortunate to have key games arrive at key times. I've already mentioned this. They're going to have Firewall 0 Hour arriving on August 28th. Torn also arrives on August 28th, and I think it has a PlayStation VR version as well. So they might get Torn for PSVR on that day as well. Beat Saber, this has to be coming by like September something, right? I mean, how long could it take for them to get Beat Saber to run on PSVR? But I'm going to go ahead and listen to a little bit of audio. Let's just see what people are talking about here. Although right now they're just entering their name. But let's check this out for a minute.
Nice plug there, Justin. Good job. That was good.
I got a B rank. Not bad for my first try ever.
Let's try another one.
Let's try Expert.
Oh my god.
I want to try. I want to see what my ability is like right off the bat.
All right, let's go for it if you're confident.
I've been playing music games my whole life, so
okay.
I can sometimes pick them up pretty quickly. Let's
Yeah,
see if I can do this.
Yeah, Justin is actually quite good at music games and Tetris as well.
Yeah.
This looks totally manageable.
There's a lot more like bombs in this level.
Yeah,
though.
careful, Justin.
I'm waiting for like the base to drop.
Yeah.
And their ball to just come flying.
Yeah, this is definitely Justin playing on Expert.
Oh,
Oh, what?
this is the one from the trailer.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm like leaning into it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Looking at that footage myself personally, it looks very good. But I mean, I don't think, like, did anybody think that this was not going to translate well to PS4? You know, it's not pushing crazy polygons and stuff. So Beat Saber should transfer over to both vanilla and PS4 Pro with flying colors. And the gameplay with those Move controllers, that is a bit more of a question because, you know, we do have a single camera when it comes to PSVR. You have that one camera, and there's kind of a cone of vision for PSVR. And if you start moving your arms too out of the way here, that could cause some issues. So it'll be curious to see how well the tracking holds up over time. But But yeah, this should be a really big game for PSVR. My guess is September, but we have no idea. And even the VR arcade operators are still waiting to hear about that arcade thing. Beat Games tweeted out that they were going to have a solution for arcades coming soon, but everybody's still waiting for it as far as I know. Okay, let's see what's PSVR 25% off now at Best Buy. Yeah, there's actually some really good deals on, I think it's the Doom bundle. Actually, let me go ahead and bounce over to the PSVR subreddit, because the Doom bundle at Newegg, you can get the Doom VFR bundle at Newegg for $210 if you use a particular code. That is not a bad deal at all, because the Doom VFR bundle, you're getting the new headset, the version 2 headset. You're getting Doom VFR, the game, which is basically a $20 value. And you're also getting a camera. It comes with a camera. Now, it doesn't come with the moves, but you could possibly pick up PlayStation 3 moves, like on Craigslist or eBay, or some type of mom and pop video game store that has like old accessories. There's a lot of people that have no idea that PlayStation 3 moves work perfectly fine with PSVR and with PlayStation 4. You do not have to buy the brand new moves that they sell at Amazon for ungodly amounts. I believe it's $99 for 2 Move controllers. You want to talk about everybody talks how overpriced the Vive controllers are, and I'm not disagreeing that they are, but the old PS4 Move, the old school Move controllers, that's basically technology from a long, long time ago, it is $99 or $89 to get a pair on Amazon and basically everywhere, Best Buy, everywhere. It's like $89 or $99 for 2 of those controllers, which seems ludicrous to me. Absolutely ludicrous. But yeah, there are some other deals. PlayStation VR Doom bundle for $225. Not sure where that is, but right now it looks like Newegg has the best deal out there. There's a lot of people too in the USA where if Newegg isn't in your state, you could actually kind of avoid tax as well. Although technically when you're doing your taxes, you're supposed to actually report these purchases. Of course, very few people ever do that. But yeah, it's kind of dead, really. As far as, I don't have a lot of built-in stories to go to, so I was hoping maybe you guys in chat might have some more stories or things that we could get into. Let me pop back over to chat. Okay, Dr. Freeman says, when do you think we will get Gen 2 headsets? Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because I was looking at an Oculus thread the other day where somebody was talking, they were talking about the next generation of like the Rift and stuff, and a lot of people in there had they don't believe 2019 is a possibility. Am I crazy? Because I kind of thought 2019 was a possibility. Back in the day, I thought that we would get to Oculus Connect 5 here in September, and they would tease CV2. Like, they would have a name for CV2, and they would talk about CV2, and maybe they would say releasing summer 2019, and so the next generation would really begin in the year 2019. Why is that hard to believe? But it seems like a lot of people that were in this thread, everybody was thinking 2020 or 2021 for the next Oculus Rift. And then as far as HTC is concerned, they need to do something as well, because the Vive Pro is a 1.5. We all know that the Vive Pro is a 1.5. And HTC, they know that they have to get rid of their wands. They know that. And they're probably thinking, we're just going to wait around for Knuckles. And as soon as we get Knuckles, maybe then we could have a brand new headset. And so 2019 for a new version of Vive, I don't think that, like a true 2.0 generation Vive, I don't think that would be super shocking. Now, what about PSVR? Well, it's really tied into the PlayStation 5. And a lot of people on NeoGAF will tell you that November of 2019, PlayStation 5 is going to arrive. I always said that it would be PSVR 2 and PlayStation 5. They would arrive together, day and date, November 2019. I'm actually changing my viewpoint on that because that is too much. It's too much for a PlayStation fan to deal with in one Christmas season, having to buy a PlayStation 5 and a PSVR 2. Because the brand new PSVR 2, which is going to be incredibly advanced, could be $400, $450 just for the PSVR 2. The PS5 is going to be $400, $500 by itself. So you're asking your fans to shell out $1,000 in a single Christmas season. I don't see that happening. So I actually believe PSVR 2 is a 2020 product, November 2020. But PS5, November 2019 possibly, and CV2, I say summer 2019 for CV2, and HTC Vive 2 probably around summer 2019 as well. So yeah, we should. Remember Gabe was there at that table. They were talking about future. He was talking about headsets that had like 200 hertz refresh rates, and he was talking about crazy high resolutions. And back when Gabe was talking about, I need to watch that video again. I really want to watch that like word for word. What did Gabe say back at that time? Because it really sounded like all these major headsets were coming out in 2018, and we haven't seen any one of them. Pimax obviously later this year. Actual Kickstarter backers will get their hands on Pimax in the coming months. Could LG come from out of nowhere? Now, we still know Valve in some way, shape, and form is going to be at Gamescom. Now, it's going to be off the show floor. It's going to be invitation only for like publishers and developers. Possibly some journalists could potentially be let in there. And so maybe something will be shown behind closed doors. There's always that possibility. I'm going to bounce back over to chat, see what people are talking about, because it's always an interesting subject thinking about Generation 2. Because I really thought maybe Generation 2 would have approached a bit quicker than it has, because it hasn't approached yet. And we still really have no idea when it really will approach. Okay, Fluke Rogi says, I think 2019 will be for Santa Cruz with CV2 in 2020. Yeah, that does sound quite logical, because you got to think about it. Santa Cruz, they do need to get that product out, and you don't want to cannibalize your own situation. The Santa Cruz is not going to be a very cheap device with the built-in technology. It's probably going to be maybe $599 or something like that, for Santa Cruz. That would be my guess. And then to also ask people buy a CV2 right away as well. Maybe you're right, Fluke. I kind of forgot about Santa Cruz. You might be right there. Chris Gould says, Sony contacted me yesterday with a survey. Why haven't you been playing PSVR much lately? Yeah, all these different surveys that come out, a lot of people will read an awful lot into these surveys as saying that something is dying, or they're going to introduce something else, or this or that. There's a million different ways to spin these surveys, but honestly, I think we really can't take much out of that. Fluke Rogi says, HTC need Valve to develop something else. They haven't shown any ability to truly push VR forwards by themselves. However, Fluke, the HTC Vive Focus, especially in baby blue, you're telling me you don't want one of those baby blue HTC Vive Focuses, because those are pretty freaking cool. So HTC, yeah, they're really behind the 8 ball. I can't believe that we still have the Vive wands. I can't believe that right now, if I were to pay crazy money to get a HTC Vive Pro, the full package with the 2.0 base stations, I get the blue wands, but they're the same size with no actual improvements whatsoever to those HTC Vive wands. You got to wonder, have they even improved anything internally in the wands in terms of like the different things that would break inside it? Have they even improved that? You got to hope at least they've improved that. Okay, I gotta switch up to a different trailer here. Sorry, I've been running that same Beat Saber trailer for the last 12 minutes. Oh, I know. There is a topic that we could talk about. There definitely is a topic that we could talk about. But actually, hold on a second. I will just go to some miscellaneous video. I gotta find a miscellaneous video. Okay, I'll just throw this Archangel footage on here real quick. I do have another story to get to, so we do have actually a little story to talk about, but let me check out chat real quick. Okay, Lethal Weasel says, I think the true next-gen HMDs will be a pretty big tech jump and most likely come 2020. We could see Santa Cruz late 2019, though. Well, the next-gen HMDs, like, what should they feature? I personally believe that the resolution has to double. I mean, bottom line, like the resolution has to double. End of story. That's why I cannot take the HTC Vive Pro seriously, because the resolution hasn't doubled. That's number one. You got to double the resolution. Now, what I really believe you should also do is cut the damn cord. But of course, asking the resolution to be doubled and then asking the cord to be cut as well is kind of counterintuitive. Like one fucks with the other. So that is a major problem. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, what is a next-gen VR headset? It should have eye tracking. I mean, don't you think by this point in time we should have eye tracking? It should have external cameras, stereo external cameras, to allow for AR functionality, which the HTC Vive Pro does have to a certain degree. I think Oculus, you know, the pressure's on Oculus. They're going to have to put some cameras on there as well. I mean, look at what Microsoft is doing with their flashlight. You know, you want to have some external cameras on there. I can go grab that that Microsoft flashlight video again, because yeah, I think you want to have some external cameras at this point. And I think all new headsets are going to have this, just so, you know, from a mixed reality standpoint, you're in the building as far as that goes. Stalling for time as I get this trailer. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is the flashlight trailer, but yeah, you know, I mean, trying to think about like what does a next gen VR headset need to include? I think it does need eye tracking. I really would love a wireless adapter capability built into the strap. I've talked about that, so that you have the receiver built into the strap, and then all you need to add is a transmitter. You got the receiver built in. I think that would be super awesome. But yeah, this is the video where Windows Mixed Reality, this will be coming to the next update to Windows when everybody can get it. You have to be in the Windows preview program right now to be able to do this, but you do get a black and white capability to look around your room, you know, see where your cup of water is, or to see where your cat is, see where your dog is, or see where your cord is, to see how your cord is tangled up, to go turn on your fan. You know, there's lots of little things that sometimes we need to be able to do where that is kind of a nice thing. Let's see what folks are talking about here in chat. When do you think HTC would lower the Vive Pro price, and by how much? I mean, they really have no need to lower the price on that until they have a product that is going to replace that. I think what they might try to do is with the regular HTC Vive, like the standard Vive, they might try to lower that price even more and get it a little bit more towards the Oculus, and then continue to have the Vive Pro as their high-end headset. Even though it's not that high-end, it doesn't matter. It's high-end enough that they're able to still sell it, you know, and they're able to still sell it. T-Dub says, bigger FOV is my want along with the resolution. And, that's the beautiful thing about Half Dome. You're getting that bigger FOV in the same size headset. So Oculus, I really think we have to look towards Oculus with the CV2. I feel bad for the people out there that really hate Facebook and it's a political thing and they'll never have like Oculus software running on their PC and all of that. Like, I can understand, like, that's cool, and I have respect for somebody standing up for their views, but man, they're going to pay the price when it comes time for consumer version 2. And here's why. Facebook is doing a lot of stuff. Like, Facebook, they're thinking very long and very hard about what exactly is going to be included in their CV2, because Facebook knows, they know very well, Michael Abrash, they know this, that you get one chance at this next generation and then you're waiting another 4 years probably. There literally has to be like 4 years at least between the launches of these headsets. You can't come out with them every couple of years because you're just going to piss your consumer base off. And so they know when they bring out CV2, the technology that they can include in CV2, they're going to be stuck with that for a number of years. They're making hard decisions right now, hard decisions about resolution, hard decisions about potential wireless capabilities, hard decisions about eye tracking and the Half Dome and all of that and what they can incorporate, hard decisions about adding AR possibilities to CV2 as well. Because whatever they fit into that, we're going to be stuck with that for 4 years or at least 3 years. It's a major decision. It's a major thought process. Okay, the other story I wanted to get into, we can go ahead and switch up here. The other story, hold on one sec here. So I wanted to talk briefly about Contagion VR. But let me resize my trailer here. And I know you guys probably saw this. This was both on the HTC Vive subreddit. It was on the Oculus Rift subreddit. And one of the developers of this game, Victor Burgos, I believe it is, he basically had a thread on both of the subreddits, kind of like talking about what he's learned about putting a game into early access, maybe not being ready really to put a game into early access, kind of forcing the game into early access, having a lot of bugs, a lot of problems, a lot of people complaining about this game. Victor Burgos talking about just working like crazy hours trying to patch and fix things, and he was talking about how maybe they had a bit too much of a focus on multiplayer and they should have focused more on single player. Now, one of the things I do know about Contagion, though, there is a new demo that is out there, and I need to download this new demo, this updated demo, give it a try, and see how I feel about this game. I did reach out to Monochrome, didn't happen to get a code for it. So that's the other thing. He wants to know, where did they go wrong? I don't think they gave out a lot of codes to people. And you can develop a little bit more of a buzz if you have more people talking about this game, more people doing like YouTube videos about it. Like some of these companies, they don't do that very much, and then it comes back to bite them a little bit. Let's see. Lethal Weasel says, really excited for Contagion, but going to wait until a little further along. Chris Gould says, is anyone else as bored of zombies as I am? Yeah, zombies are so tired and so played out, but they're so easy to work with because, especially from an AI standpoint, because you don't have to have advanced AI to have a brain dead zombie wandering around. And then when you're in VR and you have to escape from zombies, it adds that tension factor, so they're good for that as well. Contagion, some of it really reminds me of Dead Effect 2 with some of the light. It's very dark. It's very dark in there. Paradise Decay has just showed up in the chat. What is up, Paradise? How's it going? It is very late there in the UK. It is 10:49 p.m. Paradise, are you enjoying some fine bourbon? Somebody else, I forget who it was earlier here in chat, is enjoying some nice bourbon. So those of you in the UK are probably kicking back, smoking a cigar, and drinking your bourbon. But yeah, so Contagion VR, what do you guys think about this dev? Let me see if I can find his post where he kind of was... Lessons learned being the lead programmer on an early access release gone wrong. That is by Victor Burgos. There was 104 comments in this, so a lot of people responding to this. And he had a really detailed post here talking about like a calendar of everything that went wrong with the game, all the different stuff, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it's cool to be upfront about this. He had a live stream one time where I jumped into one of his live streams, and he mentioned VR game rankings for a quick second. He actually went to our website, and it was taking our website a while to load, and because he was seeing where Contagion was ranked about among the most wanted VR games that people wanted. It was like ranked like 10th or something, and he was like, "Oh man, we should be ranked higher." It was kind of funny, but yeah, I mean, I know this guy's working hard on this game. It is $19.99, right? So I mean, it's not like they're charging $29.99 for it. Or wait, how much is it? Do I have that wrong? Hold on one second. Let me double check. Contagion Steam. I forget. Contagion Outbreak, though. Contagion Outbreak VR. Yeah, $19.99. See, the deal is, if your price is $19.99 or less, the reviews are mostly positive. It has 218 reviews, and they are mostly positive. But my take is this. If your game is $19.99 or less, then it's hard to criticize the hell out of it, because it's like, that's not a ton of money. But if you jumped up to $29.99, I'm much quicker to criticize. It's almost like you get a break. You get a break if you're $19.99 or less. That's probably not good. I mean, I probably shouldn't react that way based so much on price. Okay, let's see what people are talking about over here. DLG27, at least he was open about it. Yeah, he's definitely being incredibly open about it. Although, you gotta know, DLG27, that Victor hopping into these two subreddits and doing this, like, that is some of the best advertising you can have towards your game. People not knowing anything about Contagion, they read about it, they're like, oh, this guy's working hard on it. He's up front with his audience. You know, he's patched it a lot. They watch a couple videos of it, and they're like, okay, I'm going to buy Contagion. It's $19.99 on Steam. So that was a great... I mean, yeah, it's good that the guy was up front and open about it, but that's kind of guerrilla marketing if we're really honest with ourselves. Chris Gould, Zombies Done to Death. Cthulhu Gamer. As far as horror goes, we need more games like Fatal Frame. That series would be absolutely perfect in VR. Closest thing I've found to Fatal Frame is a Chinese PSVR game called Pupil Wandering. Pupil Wandering. That is one of the craziest names I've ever seen for a game. Pupil Wandering. A hit. The Rabid Cabbage says, I love zombies, but still waiting for it to be done right. Yeah, I kind of feel like Arizona Sunshine, when the game was running well, and when I wasn't dealing with a loading screen, because, oh my God, Arizona Sunshine, guys, you know how it is, just waiting and waiting to get back into the game. But Arizona Sunshine, when it was running well, and I was in a good setup, and it was outdoors, and there were zombies, and it was sunshine, like, there's times in Arizona Sunshine where you kind of feel like you're almost in a Walking Dead movie. Actually, especially when you're on the bridge. Not a movie, but the Walking Dead TV show. When you're on that bridge and you're opening up the cars and you're looking for ammo and you're looking for guns, and then a stray zombie will get close to you. You'll have to, take them out with a headshot, and then you get back to looking in the cars and looking in the trunks and all that. When you're on that bridge, that feels like the Walking Dead. And that's the closest I've gotten so far. But I'm not in love with Arizona Sunshine. In fact, I think Arizona Sunshine has a lot of other little issues but there are these bursts of gameplay where it just feels really, really good. Craig Burns says, waiting for Overkill, Walking Dead. Yeah, there's a number of legitimate Walking Dead stuff that is coming to VR. In fact, we know the developer of Archangel is Skydance Interactive. They're making some kind of Walking Dead thing. And then the Starbreeze guys, weren't they making some Walking Dead thing? I don't know if that was just for their Hammerhead Shark Pimax looking headset. But weren't they making something for The Walking Dead where you're like in a wheelchair or something? Fluke Rogi says, if we could have a Last of Us VR game with an AI companion done as well as Olivia from Lone Echo, Fluke, you got a job. You've been hired. They're going to fly you out to Sony headquarters. That is a great idea, though. Seriously. Like, imagine if Naughty Dog took 50 core people from their staff and said, you know what, guys? We want you to kill yourselves for 3 years, make a bomb VR game for PlayStation. It's going to launch with PSVR 2. How awesome would that scenario be? That should really be happening. That literally should be happening right now. If Sony is planning for a launch of PlayStation VR 2 in November of 2020, Naughty Dog should be working on The Last of Us VR for launch November 2020 on PSVR 2, which is going to have much better resolution, hardly any mirror, wireless, all kinds of, eye tracking. Yeah, we can dream, of course. But that would be cool. Lethal Weasel VR says Arizona Sunshine Co-op is the best so far. I should try checking that out. Hybrid Energy is in the house. Sup, peepos. What is up, Hybrid? Kaluthu Gamer FF was originally on PS2, then went to original Xbox. Second one was on both as well. 3 was PS2 only. 4 was on Wii, and 5 on Wii U. It was called Project Zero in European and Asian regions. Kaluthu Gamer getting really detailed with that one. Tom Lloyd, Standout VR. Who loves this game? We need a review. Okay, so Tom, how long have you been working for that developer? Just kidding. So yeah, we're talking a little bit about zombies in VR, of course, because of Contagion and the issues that the developer did there with his guerrilla marketing. Great job there, Victor. Okay, let's try throwing on another trailer. Budget cuts. Why don't I throw on budget cuts? And the reason I'm going to throw on the budget cuts trailer is because I saw a thread in the Vive subreddit, didn't click on it, didn't look at it, but it was talking something about why budget cuts is terrible or something like that. So let me see if I can find this thread and see what the hell this guy was talking about. Again, probably what that thread was a thread that is designed to catch your attention so that you will click on that thread and then it leads to a YouTube video and then that guy gets another view and hopefully he gets a sub, and that's what we deal with in all of these subreddits. That's why I kind of am not the guy. Okay, budget cuts is an absolute nightmare. This is why. Yeah, up is not jump on YouTube. Of course, this is a YouTube video. No, I'm not going to click on your video, but I will click on the comments. And the number one comment is Bob Law B-Law 44. I like some of his other videos, but he is getting more and more jokey with less and less substance. It makes his train of thought harder to follow in this. Yeah, see, it's just another YouTube video. It's another YouTuber trying to create controversy. Budget cuts is an absolute nightmare, man. And I'm going to tell you exactly why in this video. Click on it, bro. That's why I don't do that. I wonder if I'll ever eventually just succumb to that. Maybe at a certain point. Star Fox 64 in VR, probably running on, what is it called? Dolphin. It's probably running on that Dolphin emulator thing. Oops, that's a YouTube video too. I don't want to click on YouTube videos. Okay, well, anyway, yeah, that's why the budget cuts trailer is running in here, because I thought maybe that was a legitimate thread about something being wrong with budget cuts and not just a blatant ploy to get YouTube views, but I was wrong. But let's go ahead and take a look at chat, because somebody's saying something about budget cuts here. Oh, wait, Hybrid Energy, he's talking about Outbreak. The first demo was dope of Outbreak, but the game is a dud. Here's what he has to say about budget cuts. For budget cuts, I'm waiting for the Intel wireless. All the ducking and hiding nearly hung me on the wire. Yeah, you know, I had the same problem, Hybrid Energy, because when I played budget cuts, I enjoyed budget cuts. It does have jank. It does have issues. I need to get back to that. I was having fun playing it, but like you, I kept getting down on the ground, getting down on the carpet, like kind of crawling around it. Because you know those cubicles there, right? You would teleport into one of those cubicles, but you had to get down low. You had to get down on the ground. You're opening the drawers. You're looking for scissors. You're looking for keys. And you might crawl around that cubicle a little bit, actually on your hands and knees on your carpet, which is really fun to do that. But yeah, your wire, what happens is, I don't know about you guys, but every time I stood back up after getting really low down on the ground, I would step on my wire. Almost every single time I would step on my wire, and I would worry that I'm going to jack up my Oculus Rift by stepping on the wire and kind of yanking on it where it tugs on it. You know, that's not a good thing. Tom Lloyd. Oh, wait. Yeah, Windows has a new feature called Flashlight. Tom, you always come like 10 minutes late. I showed that video again today. I showed the Windows flashlight video earlier today. You missed it again. Weren't you here like the other day I played it where you were like talking about it? Tom Lloyd works on the Windows flashlight team, by the way. Flashlight lets people to see the real world while in VR. What a novel concept. You know, the Vive does have a little camera on the front of it, right? I never used that little camera, but it does have that Tron mode. Dr. Freeman says, those Half-Life 2 VR mod guys are taking forever. Yeah, they really are. I was arguing with my buddy Arrowin X last September 2017. We're nearly a year later. September 20 of 17, I was talking to Arrowin X. Dude, what's the deal with the Half-Life 2 VR mod? And he's like, oh, dude, it's any day now. In another week, it's going to be out. In a couple weeks, it's going to be out. And he told me that in October. He told me that in November. He told me that in December. He told me that in January. And then we stopped talking about it because it just became a silly joke. Hybrid Energy says, tell me about it, Dr. Freeman. I heard there was an unfortunate death or something in the team. Oh, shit. Okay. I apologize if that's the situation, because that is completely understandable. If like a major person that was involved in that mod, oh man, my apologies. Definitely my apologies. Yeah, you just changed the entire energy of the show right there with that, because that is not cool. Definitely my apologies out there to the Half-Life VR mod team if that is actually true. So sorry. Okay, let's see here. So yeah, I did have that budget cuts trailer because of that thread. Of course, didn't actually check the thread. Now let me see. Do I have any other trailers to throw on before we bounce out of here? Yeah, no, I just had the Wilson's Heart, Marvel Powers United VR. Okay. Nothing else in here already. Let's see if I can just throw some random trailer on. People falling in VR. Yeah, why don't I throw that on? Here's something goofy, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you love this goofy stuff? But actually, this stuff is what plays with like mainstream. This is like what your grandma and grandpa see accidentally about VR, and then they think, oh my God, people are falling over, injuring themselves. Look at that guy. I mean, he literally grabs the chair and just falls forward. Like, some of these are like a little bit like, I wonder, oh, that dude really did faceplant though. That Vive or that Rift is probably jacked up. Okay, let me go back over to chat. Tell me about it, Dr. Oh, we did that one. Okay, Hybrid Energy. Well, that's one of the rumors on Reddit. Can't confirm. Still waiting for it. Oh, yeah. Let's not get into that. T-Dub, never get boring, LOL. But anyway, yeah, so let me go ahead. I'll bounce over. I haven't been... Let me check the Oculus subreddit real quick just to see what the main stories are here. Public service announcement to new Rift owners. Your Rift works with the hundreds of games on Steam VR with just 2 minutes of setup. Well, I'll tell you what, if you are a Rift owner and you're not using Steam VR at all, you are really, really missing out. And not so much with like buying a bunch of games, but with a lot of really cool free things that are on Steam VR that might not be on the Oculus Store. For example, like, can you download the Lab from the Oculus Store? Probably not. You probably have to have Steam VR to download the Lab. And if you haven't played the Lab, what the hell are you doing? That means you haven't played Zortex 26XX. It means you haven't played Longbow. You haven't tried Robot Repair, right? You haven't tried that. I mean, there's some incredible stuff. There's a lot of free stuff that is in Steam VR. You have to have that if you want to try to use that. So if you have a Rift, you really should have both of those. Of course, there's that Blade and Sorcery thread. Room Scale VR is not exactly plug and play, but it's worth the effort. Yeah. Not really. What are the chances Elder Scrolls 6 will support VR? And I would have to say the chances are pretty good that it will have some, because Todd Howard is a believer in VR. I mean, we know this. He has recently come out in an interview and said that he believes it's the third generation that is really going to blow people away. And he's probably right, you know, because we're about to get CV2 in 2019 or 2020, and then CV3 would probably be like 2024 or something like that. And yeah, by that time, the VR headsets are just going to be killing it. Incredibly high resolution, incredibly big field of view. Everybody is going to realize that VR is unstoppable by that point. Can I play Powers United by myself, or do I need friends? The way I understand it is you kind of go into this multiplayer thing, and if anybody doesn't sign up right away, then you play by yourself, because I got into a game by myself. But I don't know if there's a way to like specifically play by yourself. This guy says you open the menu and you choose matchmaking. It then starts searching for other players to fill the other 4 slots. If you want to play solo, just don't wait for the matchmaker and hold Y right away to launch a game immediately. Okay, so yeah, you can basically play with AI teammates if that's the way you really want to do it. You just got to hold Y immediately. So that's cool. Because I think for me, a lot of times with these multiplayer games, I kind of like to play the game a little bit just solo, even with the AI and with the bots, just learning the controls, like learning the different buttons and all that, then get into that multiplayer. Yeah, that's an interesting factor for Marvel Powers United VR. I would imagine the enjoyment of the game is affected considerably by who your 3 other partners are. I played From Other Suns, which is a great game from Gunfire Games, a game I really should go back to. Had some serious fun with that game, and the fun that I had with From Other Suns, a huge part of it was having some really cool people to talk to as we were going through the experience, and it just, you know, it made it so much better. And that could happen with, although Marvel Powers United VR is a very hectic game, where From Other Suns, there were certain quiet moments where you could kind of have more of a conversation. Marvel Powers United VR, I mean, you're just constantly shooting, blasting, grabbing enemies, and doing those sorts of things. So I don't know how much real banter you could have. But yeah, that's interesting. All right, let me go back to chat. I should probably change up my trailer here. People falling in VR. none of these are fake and phony. All of these are incredibly real videos. Trust me. Let's go to something different. Ready Player One final trailer. Yeah. Ready Player One. Oh, hey, you know, Ready Player One is at Redbox. I was in my grocery store the other day. I had to mail a package. We have a little U.S. post office that's in my grocery store, like a little satellite office for the post office, which is super convenient. And there's a Redbox there, and I saw that Ready Player One is on Redbox. Hopefully a lot of Joe Walmarts are checking. Joe and Sally Walmart. Joe and Sally Walmart are watching Ready Player One. Hopefully they have, like this, when it hits Blu-ray, it does reach an entire new audience of people, which is a good thing, because now hopefully there could be a second wave of VR enthusiasm just off of this. A lot of people don't go to movie theaters.
This is war. We're control of the future.
Find him.
Did anybody pick up a brand new, did anybody buy the brand new Blu-ray for Ready Player One so they could watch it multiple times and pause it and check out the stuff in the backgrounds? Let me go ahead and see what people are saying in chat real quick. Okay, Hybrid Energy says, heck, I wouldn't mind Elder Scroll Oblivion in VR. Oh, hell yeah. All of us would love Oblivion in VR. But you know what I want more than all of that is Fallout 3. Give me Fallout 3 in VR. I loved Fallout 3. And it probably would run even, you know, it'd run better than Fallout 4. It absolutely would run better, I think. Dr. Freeman says, after the Hellblade announcement, I am hoping for a Witcher VR port. Yeah, that would be super cool. Witcher VR? Wow. Witcher 3 would be amazing, but would be third person. Dr. Freeman says, I like seeing my character in front of me. Imagine finding new armor and putting it on the character right. Well, you know what? I liked Bound. And Bound had that character right in front of me. You know, speaking of Arrow X, my buddy Arrow X, a little thing just popped up that he's playing Elder Scrolls VR. He's playing Skyrim VR right now as we speak. That's kind of funny. Paradise Decay says, I'm waiting for the 3D Blu-ray in the UK so I can rip it and watch it in my Go. Oh, that's right. You know, I never did see the 3D version of Ready Player One, and I actually have this Sony TV that has 3D capabilities. It's actually like a hell of expensive TV that probably could do the 3D version very well. I've also heard a lot of people in the PSVR subreddit talk about watching various 3D Blu-rays on their PSVR. Like I think somebody the other day was saying that Gravity, which is incredible in 3D, is super, super awesome just watching it on a PSVR, which is kind of cool. Although I can't imagine sitting there watching a 2-hour movie. Of course, Paradise Decay, I think he mentioned that he watched like a 3-hour movie one time with his Go. Yeah, so anyway, let me bounce back over to the PSVR subreddit. Speaking of PSVR subreddit, let's see if there's any breaking news over here. Yeah, we got the Doom VFR bundle at Newegg. That is probably the best deal right now at this very moment in time. We talked about the Beat Saber PSVR gameplay. We did see that. We are still wondering what the F, like, where's the date for Beat Saber? I'm wondering that. Let's see. Just bought PSVR. Need advice. And some people are talking about, you know, the Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice isn't coming to PSVR. Yeah, that does kind of suck. Let me go ahead and check Upload VR and Road to VR real quick, and then we'll check chat, and then I can bounce out of here. Let's see, Upload VR. What do they have on here? Hands-on Arrowborn feels like the ultimate PvP archery game. Did anybody pick up Arrowborn? Does anybody have anything to say about Arrowborn? Yeah, there's not much on there's not much on Upload VR. No big news there. Let me bounce over to Road to VR. I have not checked out Airborne. Over on Road to VR. Oh, so they're talking about the HTC Vive wireless adapter, the setup instructions, and some other information here. Rec Room update adds teams to Battle Royale mode. I still have not tried that. Can you guys believe that? I did get Pavlov, though, so I'm going to try some more Pavlov a little bit later today. That's courtesy of MameFan. Out of the kindness of his heart, just went ahead and gifted that to the VR Game Ranking Steam account. Yeah, so Road to VR does have a story about the Vive wireless transmitter. It does come with a PCIe WiGig card that you have to install on your desktop. So I guess that what does that mean for laptops? So does that mean you cannot use this with a laptop, or you'd have to get some type of adapter type of thing that would add an external PCIe slot to a laptop? Is that even possible? The Vive Pro, the website says, doesn't come stock with the necessary bits and bobs to attach to the Vive wireless adapter. So you'll have to purchase an additional package called Attach Kit for Wireless Adapter. That kind of sucks. So if you guys have a Vive Pro, you're slightly boned because you're going to have to actually get some kind of additional package. The Attach Kit for Wireless Adapter for the Vive Pro. And you know damn well, we all know that HTC is probably going to charge $99.99 for a couple pieces of plastic, because that's the way they like to do things. Yeah, so anyway, the Vive wireless adapter, that is super interesting. I got to tell you guys, as somebody that does not have, I don't currently have a Vive, I got to tell you that once this Vive wireless adapter is in everybody's hands, they're using it. And if the reports are really, really good about this Vive wireless adapter, it really makes me want to get that adapter and just get like a used Vive, like just a standard used Vive, like try to get a dirt cheap used Vive just to have this adapter. The TP Cast, for whatever reason, the TP Cast just did not appeal to me. I think part of it is the green line, the other little issues that people talked about, the microphone issue that people talked about, and then also having this entire like router or whatever. Like the router just like, I would rather put this PCIe card onto my motherboard than have some crazy router. Like, what's the deal with the router? So over in chat, Hybrid Energy, he's talking about PSVR, I think. I don't want to be mean, but all the PSVR tiers, whenever something isn't being released on it, is getting old. Every time is PSVR version coming over and over on the Ninja Theory Facebook page. Gets old. Yeah, that is unfortunate. But I think one of the reasons that happens a lot is because so many of the best VR games on PC VR actually do work on PSVR and actually do work quite well. It's amazing. It's amazing to me that raw data works on PSVR so well. It definitely had its resolution sliced in a major way, but it freaking works. To the Top works. 2MD VR Football works. A lot of these games, they work on PSVR. It's surprising. So the unfortunate side effect of this is that people kind of think every single game that is on PC VR should come to PSVR. And yeah, they're a little bit out of it there, because it would probably require the Pro. Some of these things might be able to work on the Pro, but Sony probably requires it has to work on the base vanilla PS4 as well as the Pro. And so I bet you there's a lot of PSVR games we're never ever going to see that the developer, they got it working on a Pro, but could never get it to work right on a vanilla PS4. And we're never going to see those games. Those games are going to be lost to time. Maybe like 30 years from now, it'll end up on the internet like, an ISO of some of these games or whatever. Hybrid Energy says, I'm with Anthony. Something about the TP cast seemed tedious and the issue turned me off about it. Yeah, the TP cast, I don't know. There's a lot of horror stories about the TP cast. And I know Steve, he has a TP cast. I haven't talked to Steve that much about it. We haven't recorded an episode of VR Roundtable for quite some time. We're taking this little break right now. And on August 5th, I believe we're going to record an episode. We might actually record it live. So we might be live on Sunday. VR Round. I'm not making that announcement. I'm not saying VR Roundtable will be live on Sunday, August 5th at 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm not saying that, but maybe. And if that does happen, by the way, I plan on doing this show daily. This is a daily show. So even if I'm recording VR Roundtable, I'm still going to do this show, but I'm going to do it like later in the day or something. And sometimes I might do this show and just do it for like 20 minutes and be like, all right, folks, just wanted to check in real quick. All right, I'm out. Might do that sometimes. But anyway, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for today's show. Didn't have much in the way of news stories, kind of light on news. I mean, when you do this thing every day, you go through a lot of news stories. Also, I did not have the time to kind of like prepare for this episode, so maybe I could have had a few news stories lined up. That would have been advantageous. But maybe tomorrow, we always have tomorrow. So once again, tomorrow's episode, 2 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday and 2 p.m. Pacific time on Monday. And I do have one announcement to make, and I'll go ahead and make it now. Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to try a new start time. 11 a.m. is going to be the new start time starting Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. I think 1 extra hour is going to give me a little bit more time to kind of get things squared away a little bit, check news stories, add some trailers. I think 1 extra hour is going to help there. So I'm going to try that out. But tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific, I will see everybody then. And so that'll go ahead and wrap it up. See you guys then. Later. Bye.